I had made that drive to work hundreds of times before, but this time was different. The beautiful blue sky with puffy white clouds and the unusually light traffic that morning did nothing to calm the pit in my stomach. And as I got closer and closer to work, I could feel that pit transform into a racing heart and a growing lump in my throat. My body was prickly with anxiety. Welling tears filled my eyes as I finally admitted to myself that I could not go to work that day. The individual teardrops turned into an uncontrollable stream of relief as I made a U turn. That U turn was symbolic of what was to come. As I took in the blurry horizon in front of me, my successful, well established, and secure career of over 15 years was going out of focus in the rearview mirror. Was I really going to take a leap of faith towards a future I had not yet imagined? Oh, my anxiety started giving way to nervous excitement. All I knew is that the current measures of success, the corner office, the six-figure salary, and the enviable title had left me unfulfilled. And I could no longer ignore the question that kept popping up. What does the world need of me? I did not want to go to my grave with a song still left in my heart. But as I made that U-turn, I did not realize that I would have to shed some deep-seated cultural norms for the life of vitality, resilience, and significance that I desired. What I've uncovered on my journey so far are three counterculture principles for what I call eco-vitalized being. You'll soon learn why. At first, my newly claimed freedom did not feel freeing at all. The 9 to 5 and the 40-hour work week from corporate life had somehow become a self-imposed expectation. So I managed my day to maximize my productive time and billable hours. And the business development, invoicing, taxes, marketing, accounting, and community work that came with entrepreneurial life would need to be managed during my evenings and on the weekends. Soon I was exhausted and I was starting to wilt. So, what does it take for something to be rejuvenated? Energy. So, instead of flooding my time, I focused on my energy and things started to change. Welcoming the things that fed and boosted my energy was literally like releasing an untapped well of resourcefulness and creativity. I learned faster, got things done quicker. It felt like my time actually expanded. I, I was clearly not a resource anymore. I was a source. So, my first principle: manage energy, not time. I started by saying yes to the activities that I enjoyed and that played to my strengths and delegating the things that didn't. I actively expanded the circle of people who brought me energy and with whom I found resonance. I designed my day and an environment around my energy. Mornings for focus, mid-afternoons for low energy activities like email and reading, coffee shops and co-working spaces for creativity, home office for getting stuff done. When I was exhausted or stuck, I took a break. I found that taking a walk or a nap worked much better to propel me forward than my previous wishful thinking of just working through the exhaustion that often had me going around in circles with very little forward progress. Each act to manage my energy only renewed it and amplified it. Manage energy, not time. My second principle came from my search for significance. You see, I too have those questions in my head. Sorry, those voices in my head. You need to be the best. You must stand out. You need to define your brand, your unique value proposition. So when a new promising idea popped into my head, I held on to it tightly, thinking this might just be the one, keeping it a secret until it was ready for a big reveal. I was afraid that if I shared it too early, it might be stolen, or worse yet, rejected before it could blossom into the brilliant idea that would let me stand out and shine. But these ideas often languished, and it really did not go very far. One day, with my guard down, I shared something I was working on with a trusted colleague. The idea had a lot of potential, but it experienced stunted growth in my soul care for over 2 years. I needed a spark of creativity. Well, like the generative root system of the aspen tree, with one phrase, she breathed new life into the idea. She also could see the potential that I saw. And with the words, Anjali, I really think you have something here, she reignited my spark. We started collaborating, and it became clear this idea was just waiting for her. She held the missing nutrients for it to flourish. We have been working together ever since and have co created a model that we enjoy sharing with the world together. I recognize self preservation is an evolutionary protective response, but it kept me playing small by nurturing connectedness, and in this case, through collaboration, I get to play a much bigger game. So, principle number 2, nurture connectedness, not self preservation. In my search for significance, this is what I found, best said in the words of Seth Godin. Significance is a choice. It's not about what we make, it's about how we choose to make it. And when we choose to make it as part of a flourishing ecosystem, we get to enjoy significance together. So, nurture connectedness, not self preservation. The third deep seated norm that kept me from flourishing was my love for busyness. I'm not sure when busyness became a symbol of success and accomplishment for me. One day I noticed that my response to the question, How are you? Was no longer the polite, customary, Good, how are you? But crazy busy with a tone of humble pride. I loved doing the work that energized me, so I said yes to all viable opportunities that came my way. Make hay while the sun shines, I told myself. I'll spend time with my family and friends and tend to my hobbies during the breaks. So I worked from one business cycle break to the next, often overwhelmed and sometimes literally crawling my way to the finish line. During the breaks, when my body finally had a chance to relax, I inevitably fell ill and recovered just in time to re engage in the busyness cycle all over again. And then one year, my body and mind conspired to go on strike. For several months, burnout busted my busyness. My body and mind demanded equitable payback for all that I'd asked of them in the years prior. I had to find a better way. So, in looking for a healthier and more sustainable pace and a way to build better resilience in my life, inspired by nature, I uncovered the third principle: optimize for flow, not busyness. I admired how nature sustains itself with graceful patterns of consumption and production. A time of vibrant activity is always followed by a period of rest and recovery. The seasons signal a time to sow, a time to grow, a time to harvest, and a time to be dormant. And while the response is different for different beings and in different parts of the world, the universal rhythms of ebbs and flows are everywhere. And in assuming that we as humans can go, go, go without a pause is literally defying the laws of nature. So I started noticing my circadian rhythms at the micro level, the seasons of my life and business cycles of my clients at the macro level. I started optimizing my activities for better flow in my life. So what did that look like? Introducing cycles of a healthy stretch followed by a pause and release. And this allowed me to go a little further with each subsequent stretch. I'm able to grow sustainably, bounce back from a setback more easily, and bounce into a new opportunity more thoughtfully. And the better I get at it, the more I realize that happiness is not a matter of intensity, but of balance and order and rhythm and harmony. Those are the beautiful words of Thomas Merton. So the more I challenge my ego limited thinking, I'm able to embrace echo vitalized being by learning to energize and connect and optimize has not only infused my life with vitality, resilience, and significance, I seem to have a greater and more positive impact on the ecosystem around me, my clients, my collaborators, my community, and my family. So if you, like me, find yourself asking the question, what does the world need of me? Remember these words from Howard Thurman. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go out and do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Challenge the current culture. Uncover your own principles and feel free to try out mine. Manage energy, not time. Nurture connectedness, not self preservation. Optimize for flow, not busyness. Be echo vitalized.